Shut up and listen, cause we're about to make history. Ace off in this thing one more again. Let's talk about it.
Three-quarter production. Let's talk about the world and its corruption. Let's talk about it. Let's take it to the street. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about it. Three-quarter production coming at you with it.
Boy. Ace off of this thing one more again. Three-quarter productions. Well, it seemed like the devil working like a mug today, boys. They don't want me to get this show off the road. But anyway, I haven't been on my podcast for a little while, and it's time to jump it off. It's time to go ahead and do what I can do because I can't work. I have some numbness in my hands and arms where it stops me from working, and so I might as well just go ahead and go full blast on what I do podcast wise. Anyway, today I want to talk about drugs. Drugs here in America, us on drugs, or let's start with me. I've been out there on different drugs and different stuff in my past, and it's been a while. It's been over 10 years, or in between dib and dab here and there, to see if that's where because I've been doing, I did drugs for so long. You know what I mean? In and out of jail for so long, in and out of prison for so long, that my whole everything. I guess I got older and wiser, and everything's changed when it come down to me and making the right decisions in life. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I don't care how you look at it. You're not going to be perfect. And that's what it is. When I was out there, it is what it is. I still took care of, a few bills. I did my thing. I took care of what I made sure that I didn't look like I was out there on drugs. But even though I was at times, because at times, of course, it was obvious. But for the most part, most of my life, I tried to make it, at least take care of my business, where I always had a phone. I always was able to take care of and have some type of roof over my head, although I have lived a life of homeless or like a gypsy, where I was traveling from state to state to state to state, trying to find myself and everything. But you have people that's out here that's on drugs. And what brings this subject up for me today is methadone. You have some people that's on some type of drugs, or that's been on different types of drugs, like an opioid. And I think that's federal, federal, or state or whatever. I don't know who it is, where they go to like a methadone clinic and they go get methadone, and in their eyes they're off of drugs, but you're not off of drugs, because what they did was they substituted the drug that you were on, which was an opioid, most likely, and put you on another opioid. So therefore, now you're addicted to another drug legally. But you got drugs that are out there, no matter what it is, whether if it's from a doctor or whether if it's not from a doctor, legally, regardless, it's still drugs. And if it's to the point where you have to have it, then meaning not have to have it like you want it. It's a want. It's not a have to, because a have to would be something like lisinopril, or some stuff like you got high blood pressure. You have to have it to keep your to stay alive. Period. To stay alive. That's a have to have. It's that you want. Because when I made the decision to get off of drugs and not do drugs, I got off of drugs, period. There was no uh, supplement or something to take care of its place. Because if you're taking something to take care of its place, then you're on drugs. You're on drugs because it's obviously doing the same as uh, the drug that you were on in the first place. So let's go look and see what makes a drug a drug. This is what was my question. What makes a drug a drug? What makes a drug a drug? I wonder if I can blow this up a little bit better so we can see it. Hopefully, you guys can see it. Anyway, a substance is generally considered a drug if it is a chemical other than food and water that, when introduced into a living organism, which is your body, produces a biological effect by changing how the body and the mind works. Meaning, if you're altering your brain, you're altering your body, you're altering the way you feel, you're altering the way you think by consuming something, then it's a drug. So I guess if you think about it, drinking would be almost considered that would be considered a drug. Although they don't consider it a drug, it really, if you think about it, is also a drug. Smoking weed is a drug. Cocaine, crack, meth, uh, Roxy's, uh, uh, shoot, all the little pills. I'm trying to think of certain pills. It don't even come to mind right now, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Um, let's see. Key defining characters of a drug is chemical nature. Drugs are fundamentally chemicals, substances which can be derived from natural resources like plants or produced synthetically. So therefore, you hear a weed head always talk about how when weed come from the earth and blah 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 blah, still can be a drug. Or you have people that'll actually go in and they can make the drug. Chemically they can make the drug. Um, say uh, psychological effect of drugs. The primary characteristics is that the substance affects the function of cells, tissue, or other organisms, often by interacting with specific molecular uh, components like receptors or enzymes. This change can affect mood, awareness, thoughts, feelings, behavior, and physical state. So therefore, when you're taking a drug, of course you're gonna feel woozy, you're gonna feel happy, you're gonna feel sad, you're gonna feel all these different characteristics because a drug alters the brain, and when it alters the brain, it makes you act a certain way. It makes you think a certain way. This is what drugs do. Uh, no matter how you look at it, whether if it's coming from a doctor or if it's coming from the streets, it is still drugs. Okay, perfect purpose in context. The intended use largely determines the legal and social classification of a subject. It could be a medical, it could be from a doctor, it could be recreation. Um, if it's medication, are used to prevent, diagnose, treat, or relieve symptoms of a disease or abnormal condition. They include prescription and over-the-counter medication. This includes prescription and over-the-counter medication. Recreational drugs such as alcohol. Alcohol, I told you, I didn't read that yet. Alcohol considered a drug because it alters, such as alcohol, nicotine cigarettes, considered a drug. Caffeine, um, considered a drug. That's coffee because it alters how you feel. That means energy drinks, considered a drug. Uh, or illegal substances like cocaine or heroin are primarily used to alter consciousness for pleasure without a medical purpose. Now, it says without a medical purpose. Now you have another medical purpose. There is a medical purpose. And that medical purpose is someone is on Roxy. Anybody that know what a Roxy is, that's called a blue on the street. And they're on Roxy and they're trying to get off of Roxy. So they tend to go to from Roxy to Methadone. You have heroin addicts that are also uh, use methadone to get off of heroin. Um, so let's go check out methadone and see what methadone is. Actually, let's go to blues first, because blues, which is Roxy, is it's a drug. It's a drug given from well from a doctor usually, although it's sold on the streets, um, and it's an opioid. So, is Roxy a drug? Is it? Is it a yes? Roxy, which is Roxidone blue pill, is a potent prescription opioid drug containing oxycodone. It is a Schedule II controlled substance due to its high potential for abuse, addiction, and misuse. Now, that is your one of your average street drugs that's out there, besides heroin, which is an opioid. This is an opioid, and heroin pretty much do the same thing. Now, let's go to methadone, which is, like I said, people use methadone to get off of these other drugs, these opioids. Let's see, is methadone a drug? Because most of these people looking at methadone as if methadone is not a drug, simply because the doctor prescribes methadone for people to get off of these drugs like heroin, or like I said, the Roxys, or there's other pills and other different stuff out there that they use methadone to get off of. Um, is methadone a drug? Yes, methadone is a drug. It is a synthetic opioid medication used for two primary legal medication purposes: managing severe chronic pain, in treating opioid use disorder or addiction. The classification of methadone, remember what Roxy, the classification of Roxy was. Methadone is an opioid, sometimes referred to as a narcotic, under the Controlled Substance Act in the U.S., it is classified as a Schedule II substance, meaning a it has a recognized medical use, but also has a high potential for abuse and dependency. Same thing as a Roxy. Same thing as Percocet. Same thing as all these other drugs that's out here on these streets. So now you get off of Roxy or whatever them drugs are that you were used on the street to get on this opioid. You got off of opioid to get on another drug that does the same thing as what you were doing on the street. How can you consider yourself being clean when you're still getting high? Yes, it may be legal that you're getting it, but you're still paying the dope man. No matter what, that's still the dope man, no matter how you look at it, because you're still paying for it. You still have to pay for it in some type of way. Some of y'all have insurance. Okay, your insurance is paying for it. You're still paying your insurance. Your insurance is paying for it. You're still paying for drugs. You're still out here getting high on an opioid, getting high on a drug, no matter how you look at it. Okay, hey man, I get it. Sometimes it takes time to get off of drugs because, like I said, I've been out there myself, and it takes time to make up your mind and be strong and get off them drugs, knowing that it ain't it. You know it ain't it. But yet you go out your way to make sure you get to that clinic to get your methadone instead of telling yourself, hey, I got off the blues, I got off the Roxy, and now it's time for me to get off of this right here because it's another drug. It's just another drug. You left one drug, they took you, got you off, or help you get off of one drug to get on a whole another drug, which is the same exact thing. And I'm not trying to down people. Like I said, I'm not because I get it about getting off of drugs, but I'm just saying you have to make up your mind. If you're on these drugs, you're on methadone, if you're on Roxas, if you're on Percocets, if you're on crack, if you're on coke, if you're on weed, whatever it is that you're on, and you know that it's a habit, you know it's taking your money, it's making you spend your money, it's making you get out here and chase it and find it. It's making you out of your element as a regular person, as who you are as a person, and you have to make the decision. You have to make the decision to say, hey, that's it. I'm done. It's time to live my life. It's time to stop spending my money on drugs. It's time to be somebody. It's time to feel like somebody. It's time to uh, not be stressing all the time. It's time to not be just spending money on something that I don't need. And like I said, I'm not ever trying to down nobody and whatever it is that you do, because I've been out there myself. But hey, call for help if you need help. Uh, talk to somebody if you need to talk to somebody. But the bottom line is you have to make the decision to get off of drugs. Now, I'm not going to take it no further than that. I could have sat here and just read about all this different stuff. And but I just want to point point that out. You got these people out here in state or city or county or whatever it is that's out here. Excuse me. Where the doctor's giving you methadone and giving you these different drugs to try to help you get off of drugs, and then you get addicted to those drugs that they're giving you. That's not it. Anyway, I'm gonna leave y'all with a song, and I'm out of here. This Ace, and this is Drugs Part One. I'm sure we're gonna be talking on this subject a lot more. So y'all stay tuned and be ready for that. How about we Play one song before we leave. Here we go. Boy, it's called Demons. Check out the story he be talking about.
They never be on me. They never miss on me. As long as I do whatever that they told me. Got used to them slowly. Got that conversation, think I'm possessed. I think these demons control me. They got me feeling all these type of regrets. Like why I do this? Did it again, like why I do that? Got my conscience in a trap. Trying my hardest to get this shit back. But all these demons attack. Every time I try to leave, they come back. I try to fight them in fact. Swinging at the wind, that ain't no impact. The demons started talking.
Relax, I won't hit you back, and I can understand your laws. Don't stress over that, we gon' get it back. It go attack to get your nauseous. If you do what I say, then we all be bosses. We all be king. Find whatever, no matter the cost. If you say that you won't. That's why I'm here, to show you the rope. Yeah, here goes some dope. Go sell it to people who ain't got no hope. Go do it. Yeah, I might hurt them a little, but you gon' get money like never before. Now, as long as you follow these rules, you will be cool and never be broke. Now, I've been with you all this time, you just didn't know, cause I didn't approach. Me and you been so close, how much you feel them when you be alone. But you was never by yourself, I was with you, out in the cold. And the girl you was doing wrong, I was the one that made sure that you made it back home.
I said I thought it was God. He said
you ever told you that a lot, I left that nigga on your side. For no reason, all of them bullets switch when they fly.
when I open my eyes, focusing in, I open them wide. That's how I see what in mine. And that's when I knew my soul didn't die. Damn, the demons be talking. I hear him talking. At night when I'm walking, cause I start thinking to get them a call. I'm walking with talk, watching my steps, cutting my call. I thought I lost, but did they go forever they home? The demons be talking. I hear him talking. I hear him talking. The demons be talking. I hear him talking. At night when I'm walking, cause I start thinking to get them a call.
Yo, that's Hodges boy, Demons. You know what I'm saying? 3/4 Productions. You know we still into this music and doing this music thing. We're gonna get this podcast cranking. We're gonna be talking about different stories, different stuff, different things in America and all around the world. So y'all stay tuned. And this is Ace, and I am out of here.